Hello, hello, English learners. Welcome to Speak Unstoppable. This is your calm space to learn English through real, thoughtful conversations. You don't need perfect grammar or to speak fast. You just need to be here. I'm Maria.
And I'm John. Hi. We're really happy you chose to spend this time with us. Today, we're talking about something many learners, and honestly, a lot of native speakers, struggle with: how to think fast and speak smart.
John, today you told me about a moment where your mind just froze during a conversation. Can you share that? I think it's something we've all experienced at one point or another.
Oh, yes. I was chatting with a colleague, and they asked a simple question, one I knew the answer to, but suddenly my brain went completely blank. I hesitated, stumbled, and by the time I formed my words, the moment had passed. It was frustrating.
We've all been there. You know exactly what you want to say, but your mind seems to take a tiny vacation at the worst possible time. It's totally normal to feel that way.
And later, I kept replaying all the clever responses I could have given. It's so common. Studies show that whether it's nerves, overthinking, or lack of practice, many people freeze in conversations.
Absolutely. And for English learners, this challenge can feel even bigger. Thinking fast in a second language is a new skill that takes time. But the good news is, it can be trained.
Exactly. Today, we'll explore why quick thinking matters, what slows us down, and practical strategies to respond faster and more confidently.
And we've also prepared a free PDF packed with exercises to train your brain for quick thinking. It includes key takeaways, comprehension questions, and grammar exercises to help you feel more confident in English.
Plus, we'll introduce some intermediate-level words and phrases during our vocabulary section later, so you can practice them in real conversations.
Let's start with the basics. Why is quick thinking important?
Imagine a job interview. The interviewer asks, "What's one challenge you've overcome?" You know the answer, but your mind goes blank. Instead of sharing confidently, you stumble. That hesitation can make you seem unprepared, even if you're fully capable.
Exactly. Quick thinking doesn't just help you sound confident, it actually makes you feel confident. Research shows that people who respond smoothly are perceived as more capable and composed in social and professional settings.
And it's worth noting, thinking fast doesn't mean speaking fast. Some people assume that if they speak quickly, they appear smart, but clarity always beats speed.
Think of it like driving. You don't need to speed to get somewhere faster, you just need the best route. Clear, concise sentences get your point across better than rushing your words.
Fluency works the same way. It takes consistent practice. Just like learning an instrument or a sport, the more you practice, the smoother and faster your brain responds.
So, what actually stops us from responding smoothly in conversations?
Let's break it down. First, overthinking. Some people try to craft the perfect sentence in their head before speaking. By the time they're ready, the moment is gone.
Then there's fear of mistakes. I remember learning Spanish and hesitating constantly because I didn't want to sound silly. But mistakes are part of learning. They help you improve.
Mental blocks are another challenge. You're asked a simple question and your brain freezes. And of course, for English learners, the language barrier can slow your responses too.
But all of these challenges have solutions. Let's start with the first strategy, staying calm under pressure.
When we're nervous, our brains go into fight or flight mode, which makes thinking clearly difficult. A deep breath and a short pause can reset your mind instantly.
I once had a presentation where I was so worried that my brain went blank. I just paused, took a slow breath, and focused on my key points. It helped everything flow again.
A simple, slow breath can break the panic cycle. giving your brain the space to function normally.
Next, let's talk about anticipating responses. Preparation is key here.
Like in chess, you don't just react, you predict. If you go into a job interview or casual chat knowing likely questions, your responses come naturally.
Even in everyday life, you anticipate. In a coffee shop, you know the cashier will ask your order. Being prepared prevents freezing.
Try thinking ahead for conversations. What might they ask? How could you respond? Even simple anticipation can reduce hesitation.
And sometimes, you just need a moment to gather your thoughts, which brings us to using time fillers.
Phrases like, "That's a great question," or "Let me think for a second," give your brain extra moments to respond without awkward silence.
I do this all the time when forgetting a name. Ah, I remember you from, while my mind searches.
Other fillers like, "Well, it depends," or "I see what you mean," work too. Keep them natural. Silence can feel awkward, but fillers keep the conversation flowing.
Another excellent trick is paraphrasing.
Yes, repeat or reword what someone just said. For example, if asked, "What do you think about the new project?" you can start, "Oh, the new project? I think it's an interesting challenge." This buys time to organize your thoughts.
Paraphrasing works in complicated conversations too. If something is unclear, restate it, then respond. You sound engaged while giving yourself breathing space.
Absolutely. And it makes your conversation more natural. Win-win.
Joan, now that we've talked about staying calm, using fillers, paraphrasing, and thinking in simple structures, let's dive into another key part of quick thinking: organizing your ideas in advance. This is a game changer.
Yes, preparation is everything. If your brain has a roadmap, you won't freeze mid-conversation. It's like having a mental checklist.
Exactly. Imagine someone asks, "What are your hobbies?" Instead of panicking, you can have a few go-to sentences ready. "I enjoy reading novels, walking in the park, and listening to music." Simple, clear, and ready to use.
And it's not just hobbies. You can prepare for questions about work, study, or your daily routine. For example, if someone asks, "What do you do for work?" you might say, "I work in marketing for a tech company, focusing on social media campaigns."
Having a few sentences ready doesn't mean being robotic. It's about giving your brain a safety net so you can speak naturally and confidently.
And the more you practice these sentences, the more flexible you become. You can adapt them depending on the situation: casual chat, semi-formal meeting, or even a job interview.
Another useful tip is grouping your ideas into categories. For example, personal info, work or study, hobbies, daily routine, personality traits, and future goals.
Yes, so when someone asks, "Tell me about yourself," you just pick one or two sentences from each category. It keeps your introduction smooth and structured without sounding rehearsed.
And remember, you don't need to say everything at once. Choose what's relevant to the situation. Sometimes a short introduction is better than a long story.
For instance, in a casual setting, you might just say, "Hi, I'm Joan. I'm from Spain, and I love hiking and playing guitar." That's enough to start a friendly conversation.
Exactly. And you can expand later if they ask more questions. The key is confidence, not volume.
Another strategy is connecting your ideas with small linking phrases. Phrases like "and then," "also," or "besides that" help you add details without breaking the flow.
For example, I work in IT, and I also enjoy learning new languages. Besides that, I like painting in my free time. See? Smooth and easy to follow.
Linking phrases buy you a moment to think while keeping your sentences connected. It feels natural, not force.
Yes, and while practicing, it helps to record yourself. Listening later helps you notice where you pause, repeat, or get stuck. Then you can improve gradually.
I do that all the time. When I hear myself, I realize, I said too much here. Or, I could have used a linking phrase there. Then, next time, it's better.
And don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. Every time you practice, your brain gets faster and more confident.
Another tip is using mental pictures. Visualize the person asking you a question and imagine yourself answering calmly. Your brain will react faster in real conversations.
Yes, if you see the scenario in your mind, the words come naturally. It's like your brain has already rehearsed the answer.
And even if something unexpected comes up, these strategies still help. You can pause, breathe, and use a filler or paraphrase until you find the right words.
Absolutely. Quick thinking isn't about speaking perfectly. It's about responding clearly, confidently, and naturally.
And the best part is, combining preparation, linking phrases, mental images, and active listening makes conversations much easier.
So today, listeners, you can start by organizing your ideas into small categories. Prepare a few sentences for each, practice linking them, and visualize yourself responding.
Even 5 minutes a day can make a big difference. The brain starts recognizing patterns, and soon, responses become automatic.
And remember, clarity always beats speed. Focus on being clear, confident, and friendly rather than rushing your words.
Yes, and one simple daily practice. Choose a topic, your day, hobbies, work, and explain it aloud in full sentences. Time yourself if you like. Record it if you can.
Step by step, you'll notice your brain reacts faster, your sentences flow naturally, and your confidence grows. Quick thinking is a skill, and every practice counts.
Keep practicing, keep calm, and enjoy the conversation. That's the real key.
Joan, now that we've covered organizing ideas and using linking phrases, let's focus on another crucial skill: active listening. Active listening is the heart of any conversation, and it's something that can really transform how quickly and confidently we respond.
Yes, listening carefully is just as important as speaking. If you really pay attention, your brain can respond faster and more naturally. It's all about tuning in to the other person, not just hearing their words, but understanding their feelings and intentions.
Exactly. When someone talks, pick up on key words and tone. That gives you hints about what to say next. For example, if they mention a hobby, you can respond by asking a related question. It's like reading between the lines to stay connected with the conversation.
Right. If someone says, "I love painting," you might answer, "Oh, that's interesting. What kind of painting do you enjoy the most?" You've just bought yourself a few seconds while keeping the conversation flowing. It's a great way to show genuine interest without interrupting their flow.
And it's also about showing interest. When you paraphrase or ask a small follow-up, it signals engagement. The other person feels heard, and you get time to organize your response. This kind of engagement is what makes conversations feel real and connected.
Absolutely. Paraphrasing is a superpower. If someone says, "I recently started learning guitar," you can reply, "You just started guitar? That's exciting. How's it going so far?" That gives you a natural moment to think while keeping the conversation lively and connected.
And even if you miss a word or moment, don't panic. Just respond to what you understood. Clarity over perfection, always. Remember, it's okay if you don't catch every single word. It's the overall feeling and flow that matter most.
Another tip is predicting possible questions. Think about topics that often come up in your conversations. For example, in a casual chat, people ask about weekends, favorite food, or hobbies. By anticipating what might come next, you take away the surprise factor and make it easier to respond quickly.
Exactly. You can even prepare a few sentences for each topic. When the question comes, you already have something to say. It's like your brain has preloaded answers. It's not about memorizing a script, but having a mental outline for common conversations.
And don't forget body language. A smile, nod, or relaxed posture helps you feel confident, even if your words take a moment to come. Confidence is contagious. It makes the conversation easier. Plus, your body language can help fill in the gaps when words aren't flowing smoothly.
Yes, and one small trick I love is using story chunks. Instead of trying to tell a full story perfectly, break it into short sentences, beginning, middle, and end. That makes your response easier to organize. Story chunks give structure to your thoughts and allow your brain to stay calm.
For example, if someone asks about your weekend, I went hiking. The weather was great. I felt refreshed and ready for the week. Short, clear, and confident. Story chunks are the key to telling your story in a way that's both engaging and easy to follow.
And it's not just for stories. You can use story chunks for explaining your work, studies, or daily routine, too. Small sentences make big ideas easy to follow. Plus, they allow you to avoid overwhelming your listener with too much information at once.
Another key tip is practicing under pressure. Try quick exercises like describing an object in 30 seconds or summarizing your day aloud. It trains your brain to respond fast in real conversations. The more you practice these time-limited exercises, the better you'll be in unpredictable situations.
And mix it with vocabulary practice. Learn new words in context, then try to use them in these exercises. It builds fluency and confidence at the same time. And by associating new vocabulary with a context, you'll remember it more easily.
Also, repetition is powerful. Repeat the same sentences or stories several times, changing small details each time. It makes your mind more flexible and ready for variations in real life. Practice doesn't make perfect. It makes it easier.
And don't forget pauses. A short pause is okay. It gives your brain a moment to process, and it doesn't make you sound slow, it makes you sound thoughtful. Pauses are a powerful tool to maintain control of the conversation and gather your thoughts.
Exactly. Many learners feel pressure to answer instantly. But a well-placed pause, maybe with a small phrase like, "Let me think," can help you sound calm and confident. It's a signal to others that you're reflecting before speaking, and that's a sign of a thoughtful communicator.
So today, listeners, focus on active listening, predicting questions, using story chunks, and practicing short exercises aloud. Combine these, and your responses will become smooth and natural. With a little practice, you'll find that conversations flow with ease.
And always remember, it's a skill. Quick thinking grows with practice. Even small steps every day make a big difference. Don't rush the process. Enjoy it.
Right. Start small, practice consistently, and notice your confidence rising. Your conversations will feel easier and more enjoyable, and you'll feel proud of every step forward.
Keep listening, keep practicing, and remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just need to be clear, engaged, and confident. That's what matters most.
That's it for today's focus. Try these techniques in your next conversation and see how much smoother your English becomes. Step by step, your brain will respond faster and smarter. Keep growing, keep learning. All right, John, we've talked about staying calm, anticipating responses, using fillers, and paraphrasing. Now, let's move to another important strategy: thinking in simple structures. This is such a powerful tool when it comes to quick thinking.
Absolutely. Many learners try to create long, complicated sentences in their head, and that slows them down. But in reality, simple sentences are faster, clearer, and much more effective in everyday conversations.
Exactly. Think about explaining something to a friend or even a child. You wouldn't use complicated words. They might get confused. The same applies in English conversations. Short, structured sentences help you get your point across and give you more confidence. And the best part? Your listener will thank you for it.
Yes. For example, instead of saying, I believe that considering all the factors involved, the current situation is quite complex and requires multiple strategies to tackle it effectively. You can simply say, I think this situation is complex. We need a plan. Clear, simple, and easy to say under pressure. Simple structures make a huge difference when you're trying to respond quickly.
That's a perfect example. And remember, it's not about sounding perfect, it's about being understood and feeling calm. Another tip is to use sentence starters that are easy to remember. For instance, I think, my opinion is, or I believe. These give your brain a starting point, so you're never stuck, and they help you feel more grounded in any conversation.
And once you have these simple structures, you can add little details naturally. Like, I think this project is fun. I enjoy learning new things while doing it. That's short, clear, and engaging. Just the right balance of simplicity and depth.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about active listening, which is a superpower in conversation. Often, learners focus too much on what to say next and forget to really listen. But active listening gives your brain clues about how to respond quickly. It's a skill that turns you into a better communicator.
Right. When you pay attention to keywords, tone, and context, your brain already knows part of the answer before you even start speaking. It's like having a map of the conversation in your head. For example, if someone says, I had a tough day at work, you can immediately respond, Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What happened? You didn't overthink, and the response is natural, seamless, and quick.
Exactly. Listening carefully not only helps you respond faster, but it also makes the conversation feel smoother and more genuine. People notice when you really listen. They feel valued, and your confidence grows naturally. Active listening builds a deeper connection with the person you're speaking to.
And finally, let's cover practicing improvisation. Improvisation is like a workout for your brain. You train it to react without overthinking. One simple exercise is word association. If I say apple, you quickly say the first word that comes to mind, like juice. Then we keep going. No time to hesitate, just quick, instinctive responses.
Another fun improv exercise is storytelling. Pick a random word like mountain and give yourself 30 seconds to tell a short story using that word. The goal is to keep speaking without stopping, even if it's not perfect. This trains your brain to organize ideas quickly and speak freely, without the pressure of being flawless.
And over time, these exercises make daily conversations much easier. You start reacting faster, thinking clearly, and speaking naturally. Quick thinking isn't about being born with a skill, it's about consistent practice. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to think on your feet.
Now, let's bring everything together with some practical examples. Imagine someone asks, "What do you like to do in your free time?" Instead of panicking, you can use a combination of strategies. Stay calm, use a filler like, "That's a good question," and answer in a simple structure. I like reading books and going for walks. I also enjoy cooking new recipes sometimes. See? Short, natural, and easy to say.
Another example, you're asked in a meeting, how do you handle stress? You can paraphrase and structure your answer. That's a good question. I usually take deep breaths and make a list of my tasks. I focus on one thing at a time, which helps me feel calmer. Notice how the sentences are clear, structured, and easy to deliver under pressure. It's all about keeping it simple and focused.
Yes, and these techniques apply in any situation, whether it's a casual chat with a friend, a conversation in English class, a language exchange, or even a job interview. The key is practice and preparation. The more you prepare, the more comfortable you'll feel when it's time to respond.
And speaking of practice, don't forget our free PDF. It has exercises for each of the strategies we discussed today: staying calm, using fillers, paraphrasing, simple structures, active listening, and improvement. Try one exercise every day, and soon you'll notice your responses becoming faster and smoother. Consistency is key to mastering these skills.
Exactly. And now, let's end with a question for you, our listener. Think about your next conversation. How will you use one of these strategies? Will you stay calm, use a filler, or try a simple structure? Write it in the comments and share your plan. Every comment is a small practice for your English brain.
And if you enjoyed today's episode, please like it, subscribe to Speak Unstoppable, and share it with a friend who's learning English too. That helps more learners find the podcast and grow their confidence. The more we share, the more we all grow.
Remember, it's not about speaking perfectly, it's about speaking clearly, confidently, and consistently. Every conversation is an opportunity to practice and improve. Don't stress about perfection, just focus on progress.
That's it for today. We're proud of you for taking this time to train your brain and practice your English. Keep leaping forward, and remember, you can think fast and speak smart.
Bye, everyone. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time.